welcome to oztooltalk's 18 volt planer comparison. We've got 5 of the top brands here, starting with the brushless Dewalt that you can see. We've also got the Makita, the Milwaukee, the Bosch and the Hitachi units. Some of these are a bit older than others. The Milwaukee's quite new and the Dewalt is brand new. So some of the things we're going to do is look at the power by pushing them hard through an LVL piece of timber, and we're going to look at the runtime on 5 and 6 amp hour batteries that I've got, and then we're going to look at some prices and some other features, and eventually try and pick a winner and maybe a second and third place as well. Also, just looking at the form factor now, you can see that some are much taller. The Hitachi and the Makita are really much lower units, whereas the Bosch and the Milwaukee and the Dewalt are quite tall. The Milwaukee and the Dewalt are also a fair bit longer, and you can really see some are shorter than others. So that's the power test done. I just did it outside in the backyard. All 5 were able to do half a mil, pushed pretty fast through the LVL. It's a 42 mil LVL.
They all did 1 mil quite easily, though the Milwaukee started to slow a bit, and you could hear it working pretty hard. At 1.6 mil, the Milwaukee and the Hitachi were cutting out as I pushed. The Bosch did it, but you could hear it struggling a little bit, and the Bosch is only rated to 1.6, so that's fine. And the Dewalt and the Makita kept going hard at 1.6. Turned it up to 2 millimeters. Only took through these two because the others, well, the Bosch wasn't rated, and the other two didn't make the 1.6. At 2 millimeters, both the Makita and the Dewalt were pretty good. I pushed them both pretty hard through the LVL at their full capacity of 2 mil, no problems. To find you an eventual winner, I pushed them really hard, faster than you would ever really plane, and eventually got the Dewalt to stop, and the Makita did not. So power winner goes to the Makita, with Dewalt being a very close second.
Okay, so I'm just commencing the runtime test now. Each planer has a 90 by 35 stud to plane. They're 2.7 meters long each, all of them taken with permission from a building site. They were just leftovers. And what I'm doing is I'm just going to plane in 1 millimeter increments until the battery of each runs out. Also, because there's slight differences in the actual depth of each, even though they're all set at 1 millimeter, the way that I'm actually checking the runtime is by measuring the studs, the 90 mil studs, at the end to see how much they cut each, rather than counting how many passes there are. Which I did, and I gave a fair approximation, but I think the depth of cut is better. So you have the Milwaukee, the Dewalt and the Makita running 5 amp hour batteries, and then the Hitachi and the Bosch running 6 amp hour batteries. At the end I'll convert all of them to a per amp hour runtime, so that'll even out the playing field in terms of batteries. So now I'm speeding each of these up. It's 27 times faster than normal, and we'll see how much they get through. You notice that the Milwaukee is probably a little slower than the others. That's because it's cutting out a bit and I had to go a bit slower. The Bosch is also sometimes looking a bit slow because it clogged up a bit. I had to keep clearing the chip ejection. Now, they all did that a little bit, but Bosch was probably the worst. Okay, so we've seen Milwaukee is just slowing down and stopping now after 30 millimeters, only 30 millimeters. Whereas the Makita and the Dewalt are both now stopping at 60 and 55 millimeters respectively. So that's obviously way ahead of the Milwaukee. The Hitachi on the 6 amp hour is now stopping at 75 millimeters of cut, while the Bosch is going to achieve 73 millimeters of cut. So when you take into account the batteries, all quite similar performance with the exception of the Milwaukee. Okay, now this is a page of specs, so if you want to have a really good look at this, hit pause. But just to touch on a few minor points, in terms of runtime per amp hour, the Milwaukee really lagged the others, as you already saw, and the brushless Dewalt actually was not out in front, which was surprising. You saw the Makita and the Dewalt were the most powerful. The Dewalt is significantly more expensive than the others, over the 300 mark, but it is new and it is brushless, Bosch being the cheapest of the lot. Bosch is also the lightest, and you can really feel that in your hand. They've all got similar RPM. Most of them have good ergonomics, but the Hitachi is fatiguing because of its trigger position if you use it for a long time. They don't all come with the same attachments, so do have a look into that. The Milwaukee comes with a fence and a dust bag. The Dewalt comes with a fence. The Makita depends on the kit you buy, and then there are optional accessories for a lot of them as well. Just a note that I prefer the depth adjustment knob on the Dewalt, Milwaukee and Bosch, which are nice positive clicks. The Milwaukee and the Bosch have nice chip ejection on both sides, which is really good for keeping your work areas clean. And the Bosch only has one blade as opposed to two, and it doesn't have a rear stand to keep the blade up off your bench or the floor. Cool, so that's the testing done. Just going to make a few more remarks about these and then pick you a winner. Just in terms of accessories, I mentioned that the Milwaukee comes with a dust bag, that's this one here, and a fence when you buy it. This fence actually can do beveled angles, like it actually allows you to twist the angles, so that's pretty cool. And it actually threads into the housing, whereas the other units, they all slide through the front and just screw down like a circular saw sort of fence. So the Dewalt comes with one when you buy it as a skin or in a kit. And the Makita can be purchased in a more expensive kit, and the Hitachi as a separate accessory. These three are all very similar fences, very strong steel, you know, going to do the job fine, going to allow you to rebait, you know, very handy tools. The Bosch, I've actually had trouble getting one. They do make them, I've seen them in America, but not so available in Australia, so that's a little drawback for the Bosch. In terms of the Makita and the Hitachi, you actually need a dust adapter to be able to put a bag on those, which you can get, but you need that adapter. That looks like this. It's just a very small plastic thing that allows you to put a dust bag on or your dust extraction. Yeah, you can get those separately as well. But the Dewalt and the Bosch and the Milwaukee are all ready just to plug a bag straight on, so that's a bit better, I think. What else is there to say? They're all going to allow you to do beveling. I didn't take any footage of them beveling just to keep down the video size, but they've all got a slot down the center of the base plate to allow accurate beveling, and they're all going to do it fine. So I do have individual reviews of the Dewalt and the Milwaukee. If you want to go check them out, I've also got a previous comparison of the Bosch and the Makita, so you can get some more information with those other videos if you like. Alright, so let's pick a winner. Obviously, in terms of power, the Makita is the most powerful, but very closely followed by the Dewalt, and then the Bosch is the next most powerful. The other two struggle a little bit. In terms of runtime, the Makita and the Bosch and the Hitachi were all very good at over 12 mil per amp hour, and the Dewalt at 11 isn't far behind. So then you look at just the ergonomics and the cost especially. Taking all into account, I am going to pick Makita as the winner. It's a tried and true unit. It's had an update recently, I think, or sometime, because it's now 15,000 RPM, it used to be 14,000 RPM. And I just think that it is a top performer. It's really powerful, great runtime, very compact and beautiful in the hand. There's not much not to like about it. The only thing I would say is I didn't seem to be able to get an auto protection to kick in. So I think that maybe electronically it's not all that complicated. And maybe you could actually burn out the motor on this pushing it too hard, and it won't necessarily protect itself. That's just my suspicion. But anyway, at 230 bucks roughly for the skin, I think that is fantastic value, and I highly recommend it. Very, very, very close second is the Dewalt. This is probably my favourite one to actually use, though I can't really tell you why. You know, it's very comfortable and very powerful. It's got good runtime. The brushless motor didn't actually get us any extra runtime, but it is going to keep the heat down, and I feel that being a newer brushless unit, it's probably going to have good longevity. It does actually, you know, cut out if you push it too hard, as we saw. So perhaps when you think about the overall life of a tool, if I had to put my money on something, I'm betting that the Dewalt's going to last a long time. So I really like that one. I'm going to give that a very, very close second, only because it is more expensive at 320 bucks. And then in third place is the Bosch. The Bosch is the cheapest at 200, and you do miss out on a few things. You only get one blade, your base plate is not as thick, you only have a cut capacity of 1.6 mil, but it's powerful, it goes and goes and goes, it's really light, you can send the chips each way,
and at $200 I think that's a very good value unit. And again, I've actually owned this one for a couple of years and I really like it. So yeah, so that's my wrap up. I hope you found what you're looking for. I hope it's been really informative for you. Please ask questions or tell me what you think. Love to chat tools with you guys. And if you like what we're doing, please subscribe to our channel and like the video or share it, whatever you want. And we'll see you next time. We do have a couple of big comparisons coming up. One on compact drills and another on impact drivers, which I think are going to be awesome videos. So stay tuned and we'll see you next time. Thanks.